All right, guys, it's Nick here, talking a little bit about man sales. Follow, subscribe, like this video. It helps my algorithm. Comment below what you sell, what you're working on selling, what you want to sell. If you have business ideas, let me know. I'm very interested, always talking to people about their ideas. So I was doing a video earlier. It was I'm doing this off the cuff because I've kind of had some weird questions lately with the new year. People are really worried about the economy, economic downturn. Well, I'm going to do a video on what do you do in an economic downturn as a salesperson. You're in luck. Sales never ends. It never ends. There will always be people buying things. There will always be people selling things. Business needs to move forward. Now, the ways that you do this will adapt. How you make your sales may adapt. What you sell may adapt. Your company needs to adapt. If they're not doing that, find a new organization. As a salesperson, the easiest thing you can do to get a sales job in the end of the world economy, or whatever the next thing is, remember this: no salary equals, I always like to go, unlimited money. Why is that? Because when you have no salary, there's no base cost for your employment, the employers will give you better commission. There are some products and places that I've talked to that would almost let me tell them what commission I want to make when I make a sale because they value the customer so much. Meaning if it's a revolving door business, meaning it's a subscription, something the customer buys monthly, service, they'll pay you unbelievable amount of money up front for the acquisition of that customer because the lifetime value is so great. Always be ready to negotiate on that. The other reason I write this is because normally it's a commission job. The more you sell, the more you make. That is the absolute closest thing you're going to get to running your own business as an entrepreneur, but really you're an intrapreneur. You're in their business, but your business is selling their product. Better commissions. You also have freedom, meaning you normally can do the job how you wish, as long as you're performing. Some companies you can, some companies you can't. Every company will have a process. Use that company. If you don't have a process, comment below, like and subscribe. If you're a small home improvement company, you're an insurance agent, you're somebody who's struggling to find their way in the world, follow, like, subscribe. I'm working on that stuff right now via video to help guide you. Freedom, I'm going to write resume. One of the biggest weaknesses of better commissions, no salary, and all this freedom is salespeople jump around a lot. Depending on what you sell, that is to be expected. So that's actually not terrible on your resume. What matters is the production. How successful did you use this freedom? Did you use these commissions? What did you do? Any good salesperson that you talk to will be able to tell you very quickly what they do, how they do it, and why. If they're good at it or not, that's up to you to determine by how they talk about it. Normally, their confidence, the way they present themselves, and their ability to do things, how fast they take action, will dictate their level of success. So, when you create this resume, or you go, because half the time you won't even need it, you'll just go on the interview. Right now, I know there are home improvement companies that are so dying for people just to come out and sell, do anything. They'll take every single person that applies. Same thing with insurance. You own your own business. There is a million FMOs out there. You can work with me if you want. I don't care. You can work anywhere. There are people, they just throw everybody against the wall, see who stick. That is great because that means if you don't have a great resume, you don't have a ton of information, that's okay. You're going to build it right here. But always be ready to go on the interview. What happens if you take your resume with you, even if there's not a lot on it, then you need to be number one in your own mind. Meaning you have to have confidence, you have to be ready to talk to these people. They are interviewing you to see if you can sell their product. You can be part of their culture. You can be part of the company. And believe me when I tell you, production speaks louder than anything else. You could be a terrible fit for a company, but if you sell it the best, they're going to want to keep you. You won't want to be there, but they will be like, well, this person does a good job, so what if they're a little, they don't fit us, whatever. People like money. Always keep that in the back of your mind. There's a lot of companies that will say they hire on culture. That's absolutely true. The mom and pop shop that does lawns or is out building fences or whatever, They're hiring people that are literally nice enough, friendly enough, they can read, and they showed up. You're most likely getting a job. That's your great opportunity. Use it. When you go on this interview, the other big thing you want to look out for is leading questions. Leading questions. Showing up on time and well-dressed is 3/4 of the battle in a sales job. Because if you can show up on time for the interview, you can present yourself well, half the time you're going to have some level of success if you do anything. After you beat that level 1 challenge of showing up on time and looking presentable and not basically walking in and taking a dump in their office, you're on to challenge number 2. Challenge number 2 is a leading question. For example, if they ask you, what do you do on the weekends to get yourself ready for the week? A good answer to that is, well, as a salesperson, I like to eat, good meals. I like to go to bed early. Sometimes I go out with my wife, I go out with my friends. I live a pretty normal life. I play pickleball, I play with my dog, I ride my bike, I go windsurfing, whatever. And then you want to say something like this. I also like to look over my notes and look over my schedule and make sure that I'm prepared for the coming Monday. If there's any questions I have, I want to email my manager, or even better, practice some of my sales pitch and information so that I can continue to do well at the company. Why wouldn't you hire that person? What you want to watch out for is people that say, I don't know, or I do whatever. I smoke pot all weekend and don't do shit, and then I show up late on Monday because I forget I have a job. Nothing against smoking pot, it's a stereotype. It's going to come up. They're going to ask you about it. And if they don't, even easier thing. Next leading question. What did you sell before? This is your prime time. They're asking you to pitch them right now why you should get hired. So you say, okay, think about it. Would I say I sold insurance? Absolutely not. I would say I helped protect families financially in case of a very unfortunate circumstance. I helped make sure that people had good retirements, funerals were paid for, medical bills, yada, yada. I protected people. I helped them change their life, and it helped me. Everybody wants to hear that because now they're interested. It becomes a story. It becomes a rhetoric, a narrative that you can use to push yourself through the sales process. If you just went, yeah, I sold cups, I cut grass. Well, you now are officially getting the image in the head of some random dude with a weed whacker. This isn't a high producing salesperson. This person wants a job. Well, this is commission, bro. This is a commission job. We don't have no room for salary. What you just told them is you want a salary. That's what I cut grass. I built things. I did stuff. Sound intelligent, sound sharp, sound like someone they want at their office to improve their business. Next, show team spirit. How do you show team spirit? Really simply. This is something that I don't necessarily agree with, but I've always done it, particularly to make sure I establish my reputation at a company. Volunteer to help, volunteer to do extra, particularly being on commission. Your company looks at that and says, oh, I'm doing it for free. I'm not doing it for free. If I'm volunteering to help someone in the office do something, I'm making a new friend in the office. So if something were to happen, or for example, in home improvements, somebody's project had to get put on hold, it's not going to be me because Miss Betty at the office knows and likes me. She doesn't know Joe Schmo nobody. If something happens at the office and the sales manager needs somebody to do something, they're going to call me. Now, granted, am I going to get paid for that? Absolutely not. But when the leads get set next week, guess who's somebody's favorite? This guy. Always do extra because it helps you all the way around, helps the business, and normally you'll learn something that you didn't know before, particularly like with insurance. Go help another agent. Or if you could help, at one point I went and carried a bag for a guy. Yeah, he was an older agent. He couldn't carry his bag anymore. He was like 80. And he was like, I know how to sell this. And I was like, okay, show me something, old man. And he did. I was like, holy shit, this guy knows how to sell. Went on the appointment. I carried the bag like my little bellhop, and I learned something. It was worth it. And now that guy's my friend. I call him anytime if I have a question. Just like that. Always keep that in mind. Show team spirit. After that part, you pretty much should be to the finish line because most interviews for most sales jobs are really short. If you're going to sell something more advanced, or you're going to be at a company that has a salary like technology, SaaS, I'm going to do a video on that stuff as well. Follow along. I'm going to do a more in-depth video on how to handle the actual interview process and what to do as far as that stuff goes.